On Sunday, February 9th, 2019, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences awarded its highest honor of Best Picture to the South Korean thriller Parasite. Actually, thriller might not do this film justice. It's part thriller, part satire, part think piece on the class gap. Anyway, with this win, Parasite becomes the first film not in the English language to win Best Picture. The film is also the first in 65 years to win both Best Picture and the Cannes Film Festival's coveted Palme d'Or. Films that win this award are often overlooked by the Academy, or acknowledged, but put to the side in favor of a more mainstream film. Case in point, Forrest Gump over Pulp Fiction. But this movie defied all odds and rode the momentum train from Korea to Cannes all the way to the Oscars. Here, I will examine what this win means for foreign language films and why this shouldn't have been much of a surprise if you were paying attention. While the Academy often turns its attention to Hollywood productions, foreign language films rarely get nominated for Best Picture. A foreign language film has been nominated for Best Picture 11 times, and 5 of those times have come in the past 20 years. 2000's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was the first foreign language film that seemed like it had a real shot at Best Picture. It was a technical masterpiece helmed by Ang Lee, a director who was already somewhat known to English-speaking audiences. It was a box office success in the US, and with 10 nominations, including Best Picture and Best Director, it seemed like a real possibility that this film could shatter the language barrier and claim Hollywood's top prize. But alas, aside from Best Foreign Language Film and Art Direction, the film didn't have the awards pull that many had hoped it would. Despite this, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon made foreign films seem cool to American audiences, and it opened the door for many other foreign films to gain traction in the US.
Michelle Yeoh, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
In 2006, the Clint Eastwood-directed Letters from Iwo Jima, an American film almost entirely in Japanese, scored picture and director nominations. While it was a domestic film, bought into the belief that American audiences will pay to read subtitles. The next foreign language film to score a Best Picture nomination was Amour in 2012, a French language drama about aging which won the Palme d'Or that year.
Tu ne vas quand même pas malmener ton image sur tes vieux jours?
Tu me garderais bien.
Amour is relatively obscure compared to the 2 previous foreign language nominees, but it did show that the Academy isn't afraid to dig deep to acknowledge quality, diverse films. In 2018, acclaimed Mexican director Alfonso Cuarón came out with Roma, a personal Spanish-language drama shot in black and white and mirroring much of Cuarón's own upbringing. Roma tied Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon's nomination count with 10, including picture, director, actress, screenplay, and more. Roma was also history-making for another reason, which probably contributed to the film's failure to win Best Picture.
Bueno, el gringo ya estaba aquí, pero el coreano es nuevo.
¿Es para las Olimpiadas?
Algo así.
Roma was the first film distributed by Netflix to earn a Best Picture nomination, and there is some controversy among industry insiders whether Netflix films should even be eligible for Oscars. Steven Spielberg famously voiced his concern that Netflix's reluctance to release films in theaters was, quote, harmful to the motion picture theatrical experience. Spielberg isn't alone in this position, as another Netflix film, Parasite director Bong Joon-ho's previous project, Okja, was booed at Cannes when the Netflix tag scrolled across the screen ahead of the start of the film. It is possible that some Academy voters may have voted against Roma because of their grudge against Netflix rather than the belief that another film was more deserving. In the end, Best Picture went to Green Book, which was the safe choice and a more crowd-pleasing film. Cuarón did win Best Director for his efforts, a first for a foreign language film. While one could argue that the Netflix backlash was the one thing keeping Roma from the Best Picture Oscar, it appeared that the stage was finally set for a foreign language film to take home the big prize. It really wasn't a question of if, but a question of when. Parasite is the brainchild of director Bong Joon-ho and co-writer Han Jin-won. The film follows the impoverished Kim family as they, one by one, gain employment in the home of the wealthy Park family as tutors and servants by posing as loosely connected strangers. The basic premise was partially inspired by Bong's experience as an English tutor to a wealthy family. The film tackles social inequality and class warfare. Parasite initially presents the Kim family as taking advantage of the wealthy Parks, but throughout the film, it posits the question of who is really taking advantage of who. In other words, who is the real parasite? A story about social inequality with a personal connection to its director and a highly original script Just that description echoes something that the Academy would be expected to award. The film didn't immediately emerge as an Oscar frontrunner, but it had been gaining traction since its win at Cannes. Publications had been talking about Parasite since then, and often touted it as a possible little film that could, a label that Best Picture winners Spotlight and Moonlight had also been given. By year's end, many publications named it their favorite film of the year, and several critic circles gave the film its top prize. So, Parasite was getting rave reviews and had support from the critics, but could it actually win Best Picture? Well, Bong Joon-ho got Best Director nominations from every award ceremony around, and the cast of Parasite won the Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Ensemble, becoming the first foreign language film to do so. The film also gained nominations from the Producers Guild, BAFTAs, and Critics' Choice Awards, all but ensuring Parasite a Best Picture Oscar nomination.
I'm deadly serious.
Parasite was in the mix, but all these award shows with a Best Film category picked the same film, 1917.
Your orders are to deliver a message calling off tomorrow morning's attack. If you fail, it will be a massacre.
What started with a surprising win for Best Drama Film at the Golden Globes became a steamrolling of the competition for this expertly crafted war film. For predicting the Oscars, it's easier to pick a winner when you can cite precedent, or point to an example when this happened before. When you compare the two movies with that in mind, 1917 just seems more like a movie that the Academy would rather award. It's a war movie? Check. Over a dozen war movies have won Best Picture. It was seemingly shot in one take? Check. The Academy awarded Birdman for the same feat. It's British? Check. The Academy has proven time and again it has no problem awarding Brits. So, 1917 has all these things going for it, so it must be the clear favorite, right? Well, the problem with citing precedent here is that with Parasite, there isn't much precedent that you can cite, since a foreign language film has never won Best Picture before. That model doesn't account for the possibility of history being made. One edge that Parasite might have had is that people voting for this film knew that they were making history or making a statement. Hollywood loves to make statements, and an opportunity to do that through voting isn't something many Academy voters would likely pass up. In 2009, The Hurt Locker won Best Picture and Best Director, and rightfully so. But since the film was directed by Kathryn Bigelow, and most Academy voters were probably aware that a female-directed film had never won either award, I find it hard to believe that making history wasn't in the back of some voters' minds when they cast their ballots. And again, I'm in no way saying The Hurt Locker didn't deserve to win, but the prospect of making history may have been enough to push the film over the top. So back to Parasite. It didn't win the top prize of most guilds, but it did win Best Ensemble from SAG and Best Original Screenplay from the Writers Guild. The acting and writing branches together make up almost a quarter of the Academy. That's a powerful coalition. If you don't know how Oscar voting works, members are split into branches, and they only get to vote for the category that their branch specializes in, and Best Picture. Parasite earned a nomination for Best Original Screenplay, so writers wanting to award Parasite may do it in that category, but not necessarily for Best Picture. The acting branch, however, can only award Parasite in the Best Picture category, since the film received no acting nominations. So, the Academy's largest branch can either vote to give their guild's favorite film Best Picture, or nothing at all. So that's how I, an outsider, theorize how Parasite's Best Picture win might have come to be. The casual watcher of the Oscars might have been surprised to see Parasite's 4 Oscar wins, and even for those who follow these races closely, Parasite's Oscar success was far from certain. But one moment during the telecast that should have been the clincher for Parasite winning Best Picture was when Bong Joon-ho won Best Director. This really was a surprise win because Sam Mendes had won all the precursor awards for 1917. Visual spectacle movies like 1917 win Best Picture on the strength of their directors. Saving Private Ryan, Life of Pi, Roma, Gravity, and The Revenant didn't win Best Picture, but their directors did win. In these years, the winning films had arguably stronger casts and writing than the films whose director won Best Director. For a film like that to win, voters have to agree that visual feats are more worthy of reward than strong acting and writing, which doesn't always go over well with the acting and writing branches. So when Spike Lee said those words, Bong Joon-ho, it was safe to say that history had and would continue to be made that night, with a win that championed not only Korean cinema, but foreign language cinema as a whole.
자막, 서브타이틀의 장벽도 아니죠. 한 1인치 정도 되는 그 장벽을 뛰어넘으면
Once you overcome the 1-inch tall barrier of subtitles, you will be introduced to so many more amazing films.